Hello and welcome, my friends. This is Jennifer from Mystic Star. I want to thank you so much for spending some time with me today and watching this video. This is going to be my weekly group reading for the week of May 10th through the 16th. We're really starting this week off with a very gentle and nurturing energy of Mother's Day, and then we're rolling into that very active week. What we're going to look at today is, of course, those challenges and obstacles. But more importantly, I want to focus in on those skills, tools, and abilities that you can use to overcome your week, and also those blessings that the week is offering you. When we stay in that high vibrational energy, those challenges and obstacles aren't as big and overwhelming as they once appeared. This week, for the decks, I've chosen the Tarot of the Hidden Realm and the Energy Oracle. And like always, there are links below to both these fantastic decks, so should they speak to you, you can go check them out for yourselves. For the selections this week, I have Angelite, I have Moonstone, and then Tiger Eye. I want you to quickly pick which crystal resonates with you right now. Then go into the description box below, and I have timestamps for each crystal. Click on the correlating time, and that'll take you straight to your reading. And I will see you there. Hello and welcome, my Angelite friends. This reading is especially for you. Like always, my friends, for this reading, I have the full tarot and oracle decks so that you get the fullest and most comprehensive reading for you. Without further ado, see what the cards have to say for you guys. What does the week of May 10th through the 16th bring my Angelite friends? The Thinking Man. This week, my friends, we're going to be posed with situations and events that are going to make us reflect and think about what's happening, how we're reacting, how we're progressing in our journey and in our lives. This week is a lot about that reflection and critical thinking skills. The Door to Spirit. Yes, we're going to need to use those critical thinking skills. However, we're not going to be doing it alone. We can receive that guidance and support from the high vibrational beings so that we can get the most out of this week. When you're uncertain and unsure of things, it's really hard to have that confidence in moving forward in specific directions. That's when we can rely on our high vibrational support system to guide us, to bring us to new opportunities and possibilities that we had never thought of before. Like I said in the introduction, when we stay in that high vibrational space, things don't feel as overwhelming. On top of that, when we're in that high vibrational space, there are more opportunities, more doors open. Those possibilities are endless. The universe will offer us opportunities and possibilities that we hadn't even thought of. They're not even on our radar because we are so blinded by what we think we can and should be able to do. So let's get into this week a little bit more for you. What does the beginning of the week look like for my Angelite friends? The Seven of Cups. also known as the 7 deadly sins. And many of us are in this space right now. That uncertain, kind of having that veil and fog in our lives, bringing instability and uncertainty into how to go forward. That's very much the emphasis of this week. Clearing things up and opening up more doors, more possibilities. There are cups and pieces in the 7 deadly sins that are going to be important. We're going to need to use those pieces and aspects in our lives in very unique ways. That's when that connection to our high vibrational support system is going to be very evident, because it's going to give us the guidance on how to incorporate those elements into our everyday. Then we had the 7 of Swords. Double 7s here, guys. Now, 7s are a challenge number. Hence why we have the 7 deadly sins in the 7s. However, we're usually victorious. When we take that step back, really check into it, put some hard work into it, and we are able to overcome this challenge. We're able to be successful. On top of this uncertainty, we're also not being truthful to ourselves. The 7 of Swords talks about trying to get away with too much. This isn't about an external influence. This is about how we've puffed ourselves up through the support of our ego. We have built things up not only with our ego, but in our mind as well. It's going to be really important that we use those critical thinking skills to really assess our skills, our abilities, our talents. Where do we find that joy, that fulfillment? That's going to help with understanding which 7 deadly sins is going to be really important for you, those important elements to incorporate in. We have that nurturing energy of Mother's Day right at the beginning of our week here. Using that energy to our advantage, really allow ourselves to explore who we are in a nurturing way. Many of us struggle to explore who we are and use those critical thinking skills and exploration because we're afraid of what we're going to find. Using it in a nurturing, loving way will help with those fears. We don't have to be critical with ourselves. We can use those same skills and reflect on what's happening, but we don't need to judge ourselves because of what armor and barriers we've put up. We had to do it at the time. It served a purpose. Now it's time to get to the bare bones of things. When we get to the bare bones of things, that's when those opportunities are really going to shine through for us. And what about the middle of the week? I've got jumpers already. What does the middle of the week bring? My Angelite friends. Okay, so the card that jumped out right away. Oh, and before we get going, I didn't mention, we do obviously have that angel message of double 7. When you have that multiple 7, the angels are telling you you're on the right track. Keep going. For the middle of the week, this card jumped out first thing, the Knight of Cups. Knights are that adolescent, no fear energy. We're really going to need that courage and determination. We've got that reflection piece. We're really connecting into that thinking man. Looking at things, analyzing them. Like I said, we don't need to be super critical and judgy of ourselves. It's more about really examining. In this card, you can see how he's holding this beautiful crystal. He's not judging it. He's looking at it and examining all the different facets and all the amazing rainbows and light hidden within it. And that's very much the energy that we need to embrace this week. And then the Magician. The first card in the Major Arcana talks about your skills, your abilities, incorporating them with that universal energy to create magic in our lives. We were gifted with the abilities and skills that we're going to need to overcome any challenge that this lifetime offers us. We need to be able to trust in our abilities, trust in our skills to overcome that challenge, that obstacle. Especially when we have that amazing courage and intuition of the Knight of Cups. Yes, he can be really romantic and fluffy. However, when push comes to shove and those important people in his life are being threatened, he draws his sword and will defend them to his death. We need that courage, that determination, and that righteousness to push ourselves past any of that illusion, past that fluffiness. It's that fluffiness that's holding us back. Think of it as a cumbersome parka that we wear in the winter. I know in Canada here, we have to have some pretty heavy coats because it gets pretty cold here. It gets heavy. You can't move as well. When you start to shed that and take it off, you're more able to run, dance, and play than you are in the winter. And that's what we need to do. We need to start shedding our fluffiness, embracing this amazing sun and joy that the spring and summer are going to offer us. There. Let's head off to the end of the week. What does the end of the week offer my Angelite friends? Okay, for the end of the week, we have the Nine of Cups. Nines are about all that we've achieved, all that we've overcome in our lives. That cup is that intuition and emotion. The Nine of Cups reminds us of all that we've been able to accomplish, all that we've overcome, whether it be emotionally, physically, or spiritually. Our cup is very full. We need to take that time to see it, because sometimes it's hard to see that cup. It's hard to see how full and amazing our lives are because we get focused in on the challenge, on our troubles. Refocusing and allowing that high vibrational energy to come in will help reflect and show you your amazing abundance and those challenges that you've been able to overcome and all that you've learned. The Page of Wands, that childlike innocent energy combined in with our passions and our creativity, reminding us that our skills and abilities are connected in with that passion and creativity. Needs to be guided by that intuition. However, it's easy to receive those messages when we're in that playful, creative mode. We're getting out of that worry mode and into that play, into that inquisitive mind. This week is about reflection and opening some amazing doors for you. The more reflection and examination that we can do, especially during the beginning of the week with these double sevens, and then starting to incorporate them in, you're going to start to see that abundance flow. The doors are going to open when we start to play and have a bit more fun. We need to get out of our head so we can get out of our way and allow that universal energy to guide, direct, and bring in new possibilities for us. So before we start with the challenges, you can see a pattern here. And I've said in a number of my past videos the importance of slowing down and starting to see the messages. We've got multiple twos here. Actually, we have 4 sets of twos. In angel messages, that multiple two, the angels are telling you to keep the faith and don't give up. When you listen to your intuition, you're going to be guided to the answer you're looking for. Very much reinforcing what the cards are saying here. So let's look at the challenge. What challenge will my Angelite friends face for the week of May 10th through the 16th? The 4 of Wands. 4s are a foundational number. That wand again, we've got that passion. The 4 of Wands talks about celebrating and embracing that community joyous energy. There's a lot of things that we still need to celebrate. Mother's Day, there's going to be birthdays. Even with this global situation that we're facing, it's important that we have that community celebration, the community joy and love, celebrating those heroes in our community. Our ego is going to want to focus in on that joyous energy to redirect you from some of this reflection. Some of this reflection can get hard. That's why I keep reminding you, this is not about being critical of self. We don't need to be too harsh on what it is we've done and the barriers that we have put into place. At one point in time, they were needed and served a purpose. Your ego is going to try and put a band-aid and appease some of these feelings by wanting to focus in on those unsung heroes. About that joy and happiness. This is a needed piece. We should be celebrating those unsung heroes. It's about balance, my friends. We can't hyper-focus on one aspect of our lives. We need to really balance out our energies. We've got a lot of double twos here. Twos in tarot, we're looking at that duality, that balance, that yin and yang. Yes, celebrate them. Do not focus or hyper-focus on it though. Allow that celebration, send them your love and gratitude, and then take that deep breath and look at what the week is offering you. Start to reflect in and look with that wonder. We've got that page, right? We need that inquisical mind to reflect in, to see those rainbows, to see those amazing aspects of self that are hidden way down deep inside. The 4 of Swords. This is the rest and rejuvenation card. Let's be honest, when we're dealing with reflection, we're dealing with that fluffiness. That fluffiness is a protector. It protects us from being vulnerable. Not only is that going to bring some exhaustion with it, because when you start to dive down deep into the heart of yourself, it's going to take a lot of energy. We can't give up. Similar to training for any marathon or physical activity, we have to give ourselves adequate rest and rejuvenation and then get back at it, even if we're feeling a little bit lethargic. We can really utilize the energies that are being offered to us this week to our advantage. Again, it's about moderation and balance. The King of Swords. Kings that fully develop personality. The sword, truth and knowledge. We can't get too wrapped up on the facts. I've said this before, this isn't about being critical of what choices we've made in the past. We need to take that knowledge forward. We can't start to really nitpick and ask the question, why? Why isn't going to get you anywhere? So making sure that we don't put those blinders on and become that tyrant and being really critical and barbaric to ourselves. We do need to have that high vibrational energy to keep us going, to keep us motivated to see that end result. These are easier obstacles to cope with when you know about them. When we're able to identify them, we're able to be aware of them and balance things out. Check in and see what's happening for you over this week. Let's look at some blessings. What blessings can my Angelite friends embrace for the beginning of the week? Before I get to this blessing, obviously we had that multiple 4. When you have multiple 4s, you're looking at the angels telling you that this is the time to focus in and build on that foundation, which is very much what we're doing here. In the beginning of the year and late last year, I was saying to you guys that 2020, this decade, is about building this foundation for us to be able to evolve further. In the early 2030s, around 2032, we're looking at an energetical shift. We saw one in 2012, we're building up to another one. Decreasing this fluffiness and baggage is going to help you really embrace this next energetical shift. Man holding a heart. Reinforces, we kind of have to take that heart element out of the beginning of the week. Yes, we need to nurture ourselves and have compassion. However, we can't focus in on that emotional energy. That's going to start to bring in this tyrant of questioning and asking why. What about the middle of the week? What blessing can my Angelite friends embrace for the middle of the week? Oh yeah, door to value. The more we tap in and understand what we can do, how we can use our abilities, our skills, and our talents, incorporating them into that every day and intertwining it and merging it with that universal energy, the more abundance we're going to have. And it's just not financial. I won't lie, it's there. It's more than that. Abundance in all areas of our lives, because we're incorporating that passion, that loving energy to what it is we do in the everyday, which amplifies that fulfillment, that joy, which amplifies and heightens that high vibrational energy, which heightens our vibrational energy, bringing in more high vibrations. The more we're able to elevate our vibration and raise it higher, the easier it is to connect in and gain that guidance, and the more we're able to manifest what it is we need in our lives, because we're trusting in our abilities and we're trusting in the universe, because it has been reinforced time and time again. What about the end of the week? What blessing can my Angelite friends embrace for the end of the week? The world. Very much connected into the Dancer. The World card in Tarot. That ending, that beginning. Literally holding the world in the palm of your hand. Those next stages and next opportunities are really going to flow open the more you're able to take off that winter coat and embrace the summer sun. All right, we're going to end off on any further information and guidance that we can support my Angelite friends with for the week of May 10th through the 16th. The Ten of Cups. Tens, that ending and beginning, while the cup, again, is that intuition and emotion. It's very much connected in here with the Nine of Cups, where we're looking at that abundance. The Ten of Cups is a family card, reminding us of the importance of our amazingly supportive family. We have family members all over. In the physical plane, in the spiritual plane. We have family members that aren't part of our birth family. They're friends that are very close and meaningful for us. Our support system is going to be very important for us. We're heading into some deeper work. It's really important that we have that foundation. We need that support to overcoming some of the fears and anxieties that we have about going inwards. Connecting in and asking for that support on all planes for our greater good will really help us to stand up on our feet and take that deep breath and that step forward. And it's really not surprising to see this. The Death card. The 13th card in the Major Arcana. We're looking at a transition period. Like I said, we need to shed some of this. We need to release what's not working. Death is here to support us in this venture. It's going to be really critical that we have that ability to release what isn't working. When we release what's not working, we have the space for what will be more fulfilling for us. Death will take the coat from us and will transmute that energy back to the high vibrational frequency that will be supportive and meaningful and useful for us in the everyday. The Ace of Wands connects us into that passion and creativity. Think of it as a match striking. It will help light up some of these darker spaces so that we're able to see clearer. And it will also help ignite some of these amazing creative endeavors that we're going to get into. Trusting in our abilities, trusting in ourselves, and most importantly, understanding more fully who it is we are. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me today and watching this video. I hope that you found this video fun and helpful, and that you're able to gain some direction and insight into what the week holds for you. If you like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for the latest content. There is so much more amazing coming your way, my friends. The best way to stay connected so you don't miss out on any of this insight and healing is to subscribe to my channel and hit that little red bell so you don't miss a video. Also, if you enjoyed this video and want to support me making more, I have a Patreon page with many tiers and lots of perks. In some of the tiers, the perks are private readings and healings with myself. I provided a helpful link below, so why not go check it out? Until tomorrow, my angel light friends. Hello and welcome, my moonstone friends. This reading is especially for you. Now, like always, I have the full tarot and oracle decks for this reading, so you get the fullest and most comprehensive reading for you. Without further ado, see what the cards have to say. What does the week of May 10th through the 16th bring my moonstone friends? The second chakra, Archangel Ariel. Archangel Ariel is a beautiful, gentle energy. She's usually connected in with the earth and with the animals that live on this earth. She's an amazing support and connection for us to working with the animals. I don't usually connect her too much with my sacral chakra, which is your second chakra. Both of these are, however, going to be important. We need that connection and groundedness of Gaia, and we need that connection into our passions, into our creativity. That's going to help us go further this week, to go deeper and gain more fulfillment. Cornucopia talks about that abundance. As we go deeper, as we're able to connect in to ourselves, to Gaia, and to our passions, we're going to start to see our cornucopia explode with abundance and prosperity. Man holding a heart has kind of a couple meanings to it. Reminding people that you need that divine masculine as well as that divine feminine to create. We need both aspects and both energies that are within ourselves and within the universe to be able to create. So we need that balance. We also need to have that emotional and passionate connection into what we're doing this week. We don't need to be critical. We don't need to overthink things, because that's when we're going to miss these opportunities that the week is presenting us. Let's look at that a little bit more. What does the beginning of the week bring, my moonstone friends? The Emperor, the fourth card in the Major Arcana. He talks about that stability and groundedness. Connects very much into this divine masculine energy I was talking about, that brings us that physical strength and prowess that we're going to need to connect in to that stability, and combine that with the very fluid and organic feminine energy. The stability and structure is going to help us throughout the week. I said we don't want to overthink things. However, we do need some structure, some stability to work off of. Too much emotion and too much passion can cause us to spin in place. We don't get anything done. We have to set some boundaries and some tasks to complete throughout the week to help us gain more momentum and more abundance. We need movement with this passion. What about the middle of the week? What does the middle of the week bring, my Moonstone friends? So the Emperor, and this just came to me, the Emperor's landing at the beginning of the week. At the beginning of the week, we're also going to be celebrating Mother's Day. Again, we have, with the Emperor, that divine masculine and feminine energies. There's going to be a lot of nurturing, organic energy flowing at the beginning of the week. This duality is going to be important for you as you go throughout the week. Okay, more duality. The Two of Wands. Twos are about duality and choice. That wand, inner passion, that inner flame. That passion that's connected in to that sacral chakra to help with our creativity and our growth. We need to make some choices on how we want to go forward. We need to look at how we can really incorporate those joyous, fulfilling moments and tasks within our passions, incorporating them into our lives. The more we can bring that high vibrational, joyous energy into our everyday, the more the abundance we're going to have. We need to be able to create and manifest what it is we want in our lives. It's one thing to say, this is what I want. The universe will help us out. Sometimes we do need to start to create and bring it in as well. Sitting back and just waiting for it idly will bring about frustrations and then the dreaded questioning, will this ever happen? It's one thing to say that you want to win the lottery. If you never buy that lottery ticket, you're never going to have that ability. You also have to remember that life is a lot more than just that dollar sign. So the universe is going to be looking at that abundance on all levels and all platforms within yourself. So we really need to balance out that abundance, that financial and material wealth. When we start to focus in on that material and financial abundance, we start to miss out on different aspects and opportunities that are going to bring us that fulfillment. Money in itself doesn't always bring that fulfillment. It can help us acquire things like food and shelter that bring us stability and growth on that physical level. But it in itself doesn't bring that fulfillment, that connection and creativity. And those are elements that bring meaning into our journey, into why we're here. So let's go on to the end of the week. What does the end of the week bring, my Moonstone friends? The Knight of Cups. Knights are that no fear adolescent energy. That cup, intuition, and emotion. Part of creativity. It's about that duality. We have that passion part of creativity, but we also have our intuitive creativity. Again, we have duality here. We need both aspects to create in our lives. This week is very much about that creation and that abundance. The Knight of Cups is that adolescent no fear energy. We need to embrace his courage and determination when we're looking at exploring our creativity. exploring what brings fulfillment into our lives. We are granted a very unique opportunity to have that extra time to reflect in with limited bombardment of demands from that social world. We have that opportunity to reflect on what is important, what brings meaning, and how we can bring in and cultivate that joy, that abundance. And that's what we're really looking at this week. How you can bring in more joy, more fulfillment, more abundance into your lives. We're going to see that stability brought in by the Emperor. We're going to make some choices and reflect in during the middle of the week. And then during the end of the week, it's kind of this big hump. We need to start to put some action to this. It's one thing to reflect on and say, that would be great if. It's another to get on our horse and get going on it. Let's explore the challenges of this week. What challenges will my Moonstone friends face for the week of May 10th through the 16th? It's one card with a big punch. The Nine of Swords, the anxiety and depression card. The one thing that can really hold us back, the heartache and the fear. The fear of that passion, that creativity. Our ego will not want us to explore and to spread our wings. It doesn't matter what abundance awaits us. It's the fact that we're looking at shifting and evolving. Change terrifies the ego because we're looking at leaving and manipulating that box that it's put you in. So your ego is going to throw that heartache, those fears into your face to slow you down. Don't be surprised if you start to reminisce about past experiences of the last time you connected in with your passions, or in some cases, it's not even going to relate to anything. Your ego is going to bring you up those triggers that are going to slow us down. Really important that we take that deep breath and challenge our ego. We don't want to be stuck in this when there is so much more amazing and abundance coming our way. Checking into it and saying, look, I don't want to focus in on this. Yes, I have survived that and I have earned a badge of honor. I want to explore those passions, that creativity. Explore how you can bring in more abundance and more passion into our lives. Bringing that fulfillment, that joy. So it's not so humdrum and mediocre, or in other cases, full of heartache and sadness. Shaking that tree and releasing that gunk so that amazing growth can occur. We can start seeing those leaves come forward, those flowers bloom, and the fruit that will come is going to be incredible. Let's go on to some blessings. Whoop! What blessing can my Moonstone friends embrace for the beginning of the week? Oh, well, that's pretty clear. Door to value. When we start to connect into that stability and groundedness of the Emperor, the stability and groundedness that Ariel and Gaia are going to provide for us, the more we're going to see that abundance and prosperity. And it's going to be much more than that financial dollar. We can't solely focus in on that financial dollar, that material wealth. I won't lie. Will some of this prosperity be that financial piece? Absolutely. You're going to have abundance in all aspects of your life. It will also open new doors and new possibilities that you hadn't even thought of. They weren't in your scope of reality. That's going to bring, again, more abundance and more prosperity for you. We need that groundedness to create and flourish. The more grounded we are, the more able we are to take on different opportunities. We're more open to possibilities that may be more challenging or that we didn't even see before. What about the middle of the week? What blessing can my Moonstone friends embrace for the middle of the week? Angel of Love. Very much connected into Archangel Chamuel. The Angel of Love is very much needed. Loving yourself, loving your journey, and where you are in it. Wherever you are on your journey, no matter how far you have deviated from that soul's deeper purpose, you need to love and nurture yourself so that you're able to realign yourself. When we come from that energy of high vibration, we are able to achieve more and open more possibilities, opening those doors that are going to realign us faster, with more fulfillment and less heartache, less pain, because we are enjoying what we're doing. We're being an authentic being, so we're authentically being who we are, being true to ourselves, and connecting into our natural abilities and skills. That love and that light will help direct us. It'll help strengthen us, and it'll help inspire those around you. Let's go on to the end of the week. What blessing can my Moonstone friends embrace for the end of the week? The World. Very much connected in to the Dancer, or the World card in the Major Arcana. You'll see that shift, that next chapter open as we connect in, as we incorporate that high vibrational, loving, passion-centered elements and incorporating them in. We need to have them as an everyday, as a predominant feature in our lives, where we're really going to see that shift. We're really going to see that light, that energy, and that abundance flow through. So let's go on and end off with any further guidance and wisdom that we can provide. Got cards flying everywhere for my Moonstone friends. Okay, so the first card, the Ace of Swords, those aha moments. This isn't about overthinking things. It's those pieces of information, those sparks of light, your light bulb moments, on how you can incorporate this more into your everyday, bringing in and embracing that stability and structure and routine of our day, and allowing these fun, playful energies to come in and brighten up and bring us that joy, bring us that fulfillment. we're going to be able to incorporate them more fully. It's going to make more sense. Then we have the Strength card. The 8th card in the Major Arcana, and she talks about the importance of using our skills and abilities in our own way. That unique and creative self. Many of us will carry the same type of skills, the same abilities. It's how we incorporate them and utilize them in our own unique way. We can't replicate what others do. We can gain inspiration and guidance and then do it our own way. And that's the important part of what Strength is telling you. We need to embrace these elements, these aspects, and really make them our own. Because when we make them our own, there's more of a connection and there's more meaning to them. Life Renewed. The 20th card in the Major Arcana. Other decks, it will be known as the Judgment card, which is connected in to Archangel Gabriel, into that guidance. Very much what we're looking at is that connection in, that higher vibrational guidance that brings about new ideas, new opportunities, like I said, that we hadn't thought of before. They're not in our scope of reality, bringing us these amazing gifts. And it's up to us to incorporate them into our world in how best suits us with our own skills, our own abilities, our own twist. This is our journey. Yes, we've contracted it to have certain pieces to it. However, we have to make it our own. We have to find that fulfillment. We need that meaning to gain that understanding and experience that is truly ours. And speak of the devil. The World. The 21st card in the Major Arcana. She wanted to visit to reinforce that next chapter. Celebrating all that you've created in your life. Because currently we do have abundance. Sometimes it's harder to see, but we have that abundance in all aspects of our life. It's just sometimes it's really hard to see. It's really hard to acknowledge when you're struggling. We have the Angel of Love here. We really need to embrace that loving, nurturing energy. Being gentle with yourself, nurturing yourself, and connecting in to that celebration. When you can't see it, go back for those aha moments. Ask others. Ask your support system. If you have that connection in, that astral support system will be very clear and sometimes very blunt with you. Ask your physical support system. Because when we start to reach out and we ask those questions, we're going to gain. You will be surprised at how much love and support there actually is. That support to encourage us forward. I want to thank you so much for spending time with me today and watching this video. I hope that you found this video fun and helpful, and that you're able to gain some insight and direction into some of the opportunities that this week is presenting you. If you like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for the latest content. There is so much more coming your way, my friends. The best way to stay connected so you don't miss out on any of this amazing healing and insight is to subscribe to my channel and hit that little red bell so you don't miss a video. Also, if you enjoyed my video and want to support me in making more, I have a Patreon page with many tiers and lots of perks. In some of the tiers, the perks are private readings and healings with myself. I provided a helpful link below, so why not go check it out? Until tomorrow, my Moonstone friends. Hello, my Tiger Eye friends. This reading is especially for you. Now, like always, I have the full tarot and the full oracle decks for this reading, so you get the most comprehensive reading for you. Without further ado, let's see what the cards have to say. What can my Tiger Eye friends expect from the week of May 10th through the 16th? Second chakra, Archangel Ariel. Now, Archangel Ariel isn't one that I usually acknowledge or associate with my second chakra, which is this sacral chakra. Archangel Ariel is connected with and works with the animals of the earth. She kind of reminds me of the environmentalist type archangel. She's that very earthy angel. Whereas your sacral chakra is about your sensuality and your sexuality, those creative juices that flow within us. Both these elements are going to be important this week. We're looking at that need for the groundedness to allow that creativity and sensuality to flow this week. Sixth chakra, Archangel Metatron. Now, your sixth chakra is your third eye. Archangel Metatron can easily help us with our third eye and that intuitional and intuitive skills that we need. Archangel Metatron wears a lot of hats. Actually, earlier last week, I did a video, a meditation with Archangel Metatron, and I kind of talked a bit about him. He's an amazing, huge teddy bear of an archangel. He will work with us regarding a very deep clearing out of energies. He's an amazing help at restabilizing our gifted, our crystal, our indigo kids, the earth angels. He has an amazing gentle energy to help guide and stabilize them. He also has yet another hat where he works with that sacred geometry. He is the archangel that presides over the first position in the tree of life. He's in charge of the Merkaba, and he has his own cube. It's a geometrical shape that many people use for their crystal grids. He is a fantastic archangel to connect in with. Well, let's be honest, they're all fantastic. But he's one of the more diverse archangels out there. He was also the first archangel that was connected in with the Akashic Records and the Divine Record Keeper. Whichever piece of that I just briefly talked about connects in and resonates with you, I would call in Archangel Metatron and work with him on it. We've got to remember, it's that connection in. We've got that balance. We need to have that deep, passionate interest in what we're working on this week. And we're working on those intuitive skills, so we have that balance. We actually have a lot of balance here because we've got the Ariel energy, which is more of a feminine energy, and Metatron, which is more of a masculine energy. Archangels don't have a sexuality, so whether we feel them masculine or feminine, it's not really that important. But for this, we're seeing it as that yin and yang energy. Archangel Metatron is very much that higher thinking energy, Whereas Archangel Ariel is very much that very grounded and very hands-on energy. Again, a balance. We have your sacral, which is a lower chakra, and we have your third eye, which is a higher chakra. Again, we're looking at that balance. So balance is going to be another important aspect of this week. Well, let's be honest, my friends, it's always an important aspect. However, balance is going to be the name of the game this week. We can't focus in on one aspect more than the other, because we're going to find that we disconnect. If we're focusing too much on that physical, we're going to not have that extra time to work on that astral. And if we focus too much on the astral, we start to feel really off and we're not receiving as much from our experience. Let's look at this week a little bit more. What does the beginning of the week look like for my Tiger Eye friends? Oh yeah, we're starting off with a bang. The High Priestess. We're looking at the most intuitive card in the deck, that gatekeeper to our higher self, our intuition, and that knowledge of self. Going to be important pieces because it's very much connected in with your third eye and with Archangel Metatron. To balance her off, we have the 7th card, the Fairy Stallion, in other decks known as the Chariot. Both are going to be important and integral for this week. We're starting off with a very clear message. We need that connection and guidance of the divine to help give that momentum forward, gives us that direction. We need direction to help realign ourselves to our soul's deeper purpose, that meaning, what we signed up for. We have forgotten what we signed up for, and because of free will, we've made some really interesting detours. Now, I want to be clear, these are not wrong decisions, they're detours. You're taking the scenic route. You're giving yourself more opportunities to learn. We don't make wrong choices. Rather, we make choices that are going to open up more opportunities to learn, experience, and grow. With the connection in and guidance of the divine, our high vibrational support system, the universe, the more we're going to be able to push ourselves forward. We're going to start to be able to take a turn towards that soul's deeper purpose. When we go towards and start to work on that soul's deeper purpose, that's when we're going to find that meaning. We're going to find that connection in. Connects us back to that life-giving, joyous energy. That very creative and meaningful parts and aspects of ourselves. Connects into our passions and into our creativity. When we're connected into our creativity, we have a greater ability to connect into that divine, because we're not hyper-focusing on those obstacles and challenges that we're being faced with. We're getting out of our head. We're starting to do something that we truly enjoy. We get meaning out of it. It's fun. And then the divine can come in and open up new opportunities. Opportunities that weren't in our scope of reality. What about the middle of the week? What does the middle of the week bring? My Tiger Eye friends. Blasted Beach, also known as the Tower. We're going to have a bit of a stumble in the middle of the week. depending on how much we're able to balance things out, connect in and get the guidance, the universe is going to take some liberties here and push us a bit further. If we're able to really take that rein and start to steer ourselves towards that soul's deeper purpose, you're going to find that this blast or this zap isn't as harsh. However, if we're really still wandering around, exploring and taking these scenic tours, stopping and not moving, the universe is going to kick us in the butt in the right direction. We've been gifted with free will, and sometimes it can be a bit of a blessing, and in other cases it can be a real bear. So depending on what choices we make will depend on how much that kick or blast is gonna hurt. What about the end of the week? What does the end of the week bring, my Tiger Eye friends? The Queen of Cups, the second most intuitive card in the deck. You've got 3 major arcanas here. Major arcanas are major life situations. They're archetypes. They're the big picture. And when I say big picture, in reality, it's not that big because we have such a very small view of what big really is. But they hold the ideals of that bigger picture. So we have the High Priestess. She's the most intuitive card. We have her everyday persona in the Queen of Cups, connecting in our intuition with our creativity, bringing us back into alignment. Literally, we can see that the High Priestess is trying to guide us in the right direction through that connection to the higher vibrational beings. If we are not picking up the momentum that we need, the universe is going to make sure we pick up that momentum. The universe is going to break down some of the barriers that we've been fearing so that we are able to connect in. We are able to start to work on our clairs. We're able to open up that third eye and receive those messages. Now, for many of you, don't worry, your third eye is probably going to be one of the last clairs that opens because most of us have shut our clairvoyance down due to fear of either what we saw or fear of persecution. However, clairaudience, clairsentience, they're going to really start to come forward for you. Clairsentience is one of the few that we did not shut down due to fear. And let's be honest, fear is really hard to overcome. So embracing and nurturing those clairs that you didn't shut down. Claircognizance, that clear knowing, that connection to the collective consciousness, knowing pieces of information that really you shouldn't have any knowledge of. They just come to you. It's those aha moments. Clair, like I said, sentience, that clear feeling presence, picking up on emotions. Nurturing and using those will bring about the ones that we shut down due to fear. That clear seeing and clear hearing. Some of us may also get other ones that come in. There's a few that you can smell and taste. Some of us have shut that down, and some of us really only pick it up when passed on loved ones come to visit us because we have that emotional memory and connection to them. This week offers you a very unique opportunity to start to connect in, nurture them, and watch them grow. Let's go into the challenge. What is the challenge that my Tiger Eye friends will face for the week of May 10th through the 16th. Can I say how I really enjoy how the High Priestess is like, whatever, Blasted Beach. I've got this. You take my hand and I'll take you away from this. It's very much the energy that I'm getting, that nonchalant, I have so much power, I can overcome this Blasted Beach, no worries. Literally taking her hand will help you with that. Then we have the Emperor. He's the 4th card. Again, we've got another Major Arcana. But in the Major Arcana, that routine and structure. We're going to really struggle to bring all this extra stuff into our everyday because we are dealing with so much. That very much Tower or Blasted Beach experience that we're facing globally will come up and challenge us. That individual Blasted Beach Tower situation will also give us a bit of a stumble. We're going to feel that need to be very rigid. However, rigidity is not in your cards. We need that flexibility and organic state. We need the stability of earth, so making sure we're grounded will help with that need for that rigid, very Emperor energy. Doing a little bit of foreplanning, knowing that the stability is going to be a bit of a bear for you this week, making sure you have those grounded and earthy crystals with you will help. Anything that connects into our solar plexus that is red or black will really support you in this stability. And yet another Major Arcana, the Fortune Fairy, the 10th card in the Major Arcana. That fear of change, that fear of the unknown. That fear has been holding us back. We resist change. We do it so much that the universe has to take those liberties and kick us in the bum. When we're feeling that fear, that's when we need to take that time to reground ourselves, restabilize ourselves, and ask for that guidance and ask for that support. When we connect in, the higher vibrational beings can help us. They can help clear out some of these energies. I couldn't figure out why I really needed to do the Metatron video earlier last week. I hadn't really planned on it until the middle of the month. Now I know why Archangel Metatron is like, no, we need to do it right now. And so I did. I'll leave a link below in the description box to my meditation with Metatron. It will help to clear out some of these energies. It's a very powerful meditation that I think you'll find very helpful. That's going to help with that release and helping you go forward a bit more to connect into these pieces. We're looking at a big shift for you. When we're looking at this many Major Arcana, you're looking at the bigger picture shift. And it's not what we think is big picture, because let's be honest, we have no idea what the big picture is. It's the universe's big picture that we're looking at. Let's go into the blessings. What blessing? That one flipped around. Can my Tiger Eye friends embrace for the beginning of the week? I think that's pretty evident. Door to personal healing and happiness. The more connected in we are, and the more aligned we are with our soul's deeper journey, the more fulfillment, the more joy, the more prosperity we have, which gives us more time and energy to work on that healing, which is kind of a global task. We're carrying a lot of baggage a lot of fear, and a lot of heartache that we've acquired through past lives, we've acquired in this lifetime, and our family has acquired through generations. So there's a lot of healing that we need to do, and I've said this in many healing meditations. This is not going to be an easy one-hit fix. Think of it in a Shrek moment. There are layers to your onion, my friends, and we have to take them off slowly so that we can sustain that healing. If we rip things off too far, we recoil down to fear. What blessing can my tiger eye friends embrace for the middle of the week? Woman holding a coin connects into that groundedness as we're looking at coins connecting into pentacles, that divine feminine energy. Mother's Day occurs at the beginning of the week. We need that nurturing energy to help support us, not only with that healing, but that strength to be able to take on whatever shifts that the tower or blasted beach is going to give to us. Anytime we're looking at that shift, we're looking at that need for groundedness. She's holding this coin right in front of her sacral chakra and her root chakra. Your root chakra is right at the tip of your pelvis, where the sacral is right in your hip bone. For women, it would be right where your uterus is. For men, it's just literally right in between where your two pelvic bones would meet. She's reminding us of that importance of that grounding energy, making sure that these two are firing and flowing well. Connects right into that Archangel Ariel and to the sacral chakra. And finally, what blessing can my tiger eye friends embrace at the end of the week? Now, I should also mention, because we are looking at a coin, we are looking at that prosperity piece. The more aligned we are, whether it be through choice or through divine intervention, we're going to see that prosperity come forward. It's just we have to overcome this stumble. Oh, just because I hadn't said it, there you go, your abundance. The more in tune you are, the more guidance and wisdom that you can receive, the more you're able to align yourself to that soul's deeper purpose, the more your vibration rises, the more that abundance comes forward. You're able to manifest and create what it is you need in your life. Now, I won't lie, with manifestation, it's not just something that you put out there. You can't just say, oh, I want to win the lottery, and never buy a lottery ticket. You have to work at it too. Some of these pieces require us to put ourselves out there. Because if we turtle or recluse ourselves, we're lowering our vibration. We're not connecting in to that creativity, and we're not connecting in to those higher vibrational beings. Yes, a lot of this is that individual work. However, we still need to put ourselves out there and do a little bit of the work. Then finally, man holding a heart. We can't overthink things, my friends. This isn't about critical thinking right now. This is about working from that heartfelt, creative passion center. When we have that connection to passion, when we have that connection to heart, that love and hope, That's that high vibration. And again, we're looking at bringing in this happiness and this joy. The prosperity will flow. We're going to end off on any final wisdom or insight that we can share with my Tiger Eye friends for the week of May 10th to the 16th. The Knight of Cups. Shocking, we have another intuition card, that connection into emotion. The Knight has that no fear energy, and that's something that's going to be really important for us this week. We need to be open to these shifts, to these changes. Fear has slowed us down, and fear is what brought this on, this shift. This tower situation, it's kind of looming in the middle of the week. We need that no fear energy, that connection in to our intuition for that guidance forward. Also connects into the Chariot's movement card. It's one thing to know about what we need to do. It's another to get on our horse and get going. And that's what we need to do. Slow and steady will win the race. Pamela Coleman Smith drew the original knights in varying stages of motion. The Knight of Swords is running helter-skelter right into the storm. Sword drawn, head down, and he's a-moving. The Wands, he's rearing up and ready to go forward. Whereas the Knight of Cups, he's just trotting along. He's like, oh yeah, I got this. I want to see, I want to feel all. I want to experience what I can in this moment. And that's the energy that we really need this week. Yes, some of the experiences may be uncomfortable. They are learning opportunities that we must embrace. The Ace of Wands. Aces are that gift. This is that connection into your passions, into your creativity. You're going to see this intuitional connection really spark that creativity. And with the amount of yin-yang energy we have here, that need for balancing out that yin-yang energy is going to really help us. We need both masculine and feminine to create. So when we have that balance, we're able to create amazing things in our lives. And that's what the Ace of Wands connects us in with. That creation. Because when we're creating, we're getting out of our heads. We're allowing that universal energy and that universal wisdom to come in. The energy will help with the healing. The wisdom will help with that guidance forward. The Hanged Man, the 12th card in the Major Arcana. You guys are really Major Arcana heavy, which isn't a bad thing. It's just telling you this is a time of shifting, a big shift, my friends. The Hanged Man, that quintessential let it go card. We need to take the blinders off. We need to release those expectations, because those expectations is what's causing that fear and that stagnation. Allowing the universe in, allowing that guidance, allowing that support. Shocking, we're going to end off on a Major Arcana. The Justice card. Justice is the 11th card in the Major Arcana. Talks about that balance, that truth. This week is really going to get to the heart of the matter. Justice helps to cut away the fluffy crap that is holding us back so that we can bring in that balance. We need to realign ourselves, and we can do so this week. We need to trust in the universe, embrace that guidance, get on our high horse and start that movement. It does not need to be fast. It does not need to be furious. Slow and steady will win the race for you guys. I want to thank you guys so much for spending time with me today and watching my video. I hope that you found this video fun and helpful, and you're able to gain some insight and direction into what this week offers you. If you like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for the latest content. There is so much more amazing coming your way. The best way to stay connected so you don't miss out on any of this amazing insight and healing is to subscribe to my channel and hit that little red bell so you don't miss a video. Also, if you enjoyed this video and want to support me in making more, I have a Patreon page with many tiers and lots of perks. In some of the tiers, the perks are private readings and healings with myself. I provided a helpful link below, so why not go check it out. Until tomorrow, my Tiger Eye friends.